Some people spend their whole lives waiting for closure. I spent mine running from it. My name is Margaret. I'm 76 years old, and I need to tell you about the biggest mistake I ever made. Before the guilt swallows me whole, and I take this secret to my grave. For 54 years I've carried the weight of what I did, a choice I made when I was young and terrified, a choice that destroyed the one person who loved me unconditionally. His name was James. I was 17 when we met. James was 18. It was 1968, and the world felt like it was splitting apart. Vietnam, protests, everything changing. But in our small town in Georgia, life moved slow. My daddy owned the pharmacy. James worked there after school, stocking shelves, helping customers. Brown eyes, gentle smile, hands that were always careful with everything he touched, including me. I remember the first time he spoke to me. October 15th, a Tuesday. I'd come in to pick up my grandmother's medicine. He said, "Your grandmother, she tells me you play piano." Just like that. So simple. I said yes. He said, "I'd like to hear you play sometime." 3 days later, he came to our church just to hear me play at Sunday service, sat in the back pew, never took his eyes off me. After that, we were inseparable. We'd meet behind the pharmacy after closing, sit on the loading dock, talk for hours. He wanted to be a teacher, loved history, loved kids. He'd tell me stories about ancient Rome, about wars and kings, make it all come alive. I wanted to be a nurse, help people, make a difference. He'd listen to me practice pronunciations of medical terms, never laughed when I got them wrong. We made plans. After he finished college, we'd get married. Have 3 kids, he said, a house with a porch, Sunday dinners, simple dreams, beautiful dreams. My father hated him. James came from the wrong side of town. His daddy drank. His mama worked 2 jobs. My father said he'd never amount to anything. Said I was throwing my life away. February 14th, 1969. Valentine's Day. We'd been together almost a year. James took me to the old bridge outside town. There was snow on the ground, rare for Georgia. He got down on one knee, right there in the cold, hands shaking. Pulled out a ring. Not expensive, just a thin silver band with a tiny diamond. He said, "Margaret, I know we're young. I know your daddy doesn't approve, but I love you more than I've ever loved anything in my whole life. Will you marry me?" I said yes. I meant it with everything in me. We kept it secret, wore the ring on a chain under my blouse, planned to tell our parents after he graduated. 3 months later, everything fell apart. May 3rd, 1969. The day that haunts me. I found out I was pregnant. 17 years old, unwed, pregnant in 1969 in a small Georgia town. I was terrified. My father would disown me. The town would crucify us. James would lose his scholarship, his future. I panicked. I did something I can never take back. My father's best friend was a lawyer in Atlanta. Rich, successful, recently widowed. 43 years old. His name was William. He'd been coming around more, bringing my father cigars, talking business. He'd look at me in a way that made my skin crawl. One night he asked my father if he could take me to dinner. My father said yes before I could say no. At dinner, William said he wanted to marry me. Said he could give me a good life, security, everything I'd ever need. Said my father approved. I felt sick. But then I thought about the baby. About James losing everything. About the shame I'd bring to my family. I made a choice. The cruelest choice I've ever made. I wrote James a letter. Told him I didn't love him anymore. Told him I'd been seeing someone else. Told him to stop trying to contact me. I never mentioned the baby. Never told him the truth. I left the letter in his locker at the pharmacy. Then I avoided him. 3 days later, he came to my house. Stood on the porch in the rain, begging to talk to me. I watched from my window upstairs. My father sent him away. I saw his face, broken, lost, destroyed. I wanted to run down those stairs, tell him everything, beg for forgiveness. Instead, I turned away. 2 weeks later, I married William in a quiet ceremony in Atlanta. 4 months after that, I had a miscarriage, lost the baby, lost the only reason I'd sacrificed everything. William was cold about it, said we could try again, but we never did. That marriage was a prison. 23 years I stayed. He controlled everything I did, every person I saw, every dollar I spent. No children, no joy, just obligation and regret. I thought about James every single day, wondered where he was, if he was happy, if he'd found someone else, if he ever forgave me. In 1992, William died. Heart attack. I felt nothing. I was 41 years old and free for the first time since I was 17, but I was too ashamed to find James, too cowardly to face what I'd done. I moved to Charleston, started over, got my nursing degree finally, worked at a children's hospital for 28 years, poured all my love into those kids, the ones who were sick, scared, alone. But every night I'd go home to an empty apartment and think about him, about the life we should have had. 3 weeks ago, my niece helped me set up Facebook, said it would help me keep in touch with family. One night I couldn't sleep. I did something I'd been too afraid to do for 54 years. I searched for his name, James Mitchell, found him immediately. His profile picture, an older man, silver hair, kind eyes. Still those same kind eyes. My hands were trembling so hard I could barely type. His profile said he lived in Savannah, 2 hours away, married, 3 children, 8 grandchildren, retired teacher. He'd become exactly what he wanted to be. I stared at that screen for 2 hours. Then I sent him a message. James, it's Margaret from Georgia. I know I have no right to contact you after what I did, but I need you to know something. I lied to you in 1969. I need to explain, please. He responded the next morning. Margaret, I've thought about you every day for 54 years. We can meet tomorrow. There's a cafe in Beaufort, halfway between us. I couldn't sleep that night, couldn't eat. What do you say to someone you destroyed? I got there early, sat by the window, watched the door. Then I saw him, walking across the parking lot, still tall, still gentle in the way he moved. He sat down across from me. We didn't speak for a full minute, just looked at each other. Then he said, "You look exactly the same." I started crying, right there in that cafe. "I'm so sorry," I said. "I'm so sorry." He didn't say anything, just waited. I told him everything, about the pregnancy, about my father's pressure, about William, about the miscarriage, about the 23 years of emptiness, about how I thought I was protecting him, but really I was just a coward. When I finished, he was quiet for a long time. Then he said, "I joined the army after you left. Figured if I couldn't have you, nothing else mattered. Went to Vietnam, 2 tours, came home different, couldn't sleep, couldn't function. Took me years to put myself back together." My heart broke into pieces. "I destroyed you," I whispered. He shook his head. "You made a choice. I don't agree with it. I don't understand it. But you were 17 and terrified, and I wasn't there to protect you. I've been angry about it for 54 years, but sitting here now, looking at you, all I feel is sad. Sad for what we lost. Sad for the kids we could have had. Sad for all those years we spent apart." "Do you hate me?" I asked. He thought about it. "No, I did for a long time, but hate is exhausting. I let it go. Met my wife Sarah in 1975. She saved my life, gave me a family, gave me purpose. I had a good life, Margaret, a really good life. That should have made me feel better. It didn't. It made it worse, because I didn't have a good life. I wasted mine. He built something beautiful. I built nothing." We talked for 3 hours. He showed me pictures of his kids, his grandkids, his wife who passed away last year. Cancer. He held her hand until the end. He told me about the students he'd taught, the lives he'd touched. I had nothing to show him, just decades of regret. Before we left, I asked him the question I'd been carrying. "Do you ever wonder what our life would have been like?" He looked at me with such sadness. every single day for the first 20 years. Then I stopped, because wondering was killing me. I had to choose to live the life I had, not the one I lost. That's when I understood. He'd moved on. He'd healed. He'd let me go. I never did. I spent 54 years in love with a ghost, a boy who didn't exist anymore, while he built a real life with real people. We hugged goodbye in the parking lot. He held me for a long moment. I forgive you, Margaret. I forgave you a long time ago. I hope you can forgive yourself. But I can't. And I don't think I ever will, because my choice didn't just affect me. It sent him to war. It nearly destroyed him. Yes, he survived. Yes, he built something beautiful. But what if he hadn't? What if he'd died over there? What if he'd never found Sarah? My cowardice could have killed him. That's what I live with. I'm 76 years old. I've spent my whole life running from that one decision, trying to make up for it by caring for other people's children because I didn't protect the man I loved. If you're young and you're scared and you're facing an impossible choice, please, please don't do what I did. Don't lie to protect yourself. Don't run. Don't take the easy way out. Face it together. Trust the person who loves you, because the consequences of cowardice last forever. I lost him. I lost our baby. I lost 54 years. I lost myself. And no matter how much he forgives me, I'll never forgive myself. He moved on. He found peace. I'm still that 17-year-old girl standing at my window, watching the boy I loved cry in the rain. If you take anything from my story, let it be this. The people who love you deserve your honesty, even when it's hard, even when it's terrifying, even when it feels like the truth will destroy everything, because lies destroy more, silence destroys more, cowardice destroys more. I know because I lived it. I'm still living it, every single day. James has peace. He earned it. He deserves it. Me, I have regret, and I'll carry it to my grave. That's my punishment. That's what I deserve. Don't be me. Be brave. Be honest. Choose love over fear, because you only get one life. And once it's gone, you can't get it back.